Welcome to the Missouri Secretary of State's office, the Kirkpatrick Building, for filing day. The political season kicks off. I'm Scott Faughn.
I'm Erin Trimp, and we're here with Secretary of State Denny Hoskins.
Yes.
Yeah, Denny, you have been on the candidate side of this a few times.
I have.
Yeah. What's it like being on the Secretary of State side of this and welcoming all these candidates?
Well,
here
you know,
today?
some of it's very similar. I say it's like the first day of school almost. I mean, there's just a buzz and excitement in the air, especially with those candidates that are filing for the first time. And so I know that they are very excited. I'm very excited for them. But as Secretary of State, I want today to be a very boring, low-key, drama-filled day where everything just works very, very smoothly. People come in, they get filed, take a couple pictures and post them on social media and then head about their day.
It's kind of cool that you're the Secretary of State now because you know what it's like.
I do.
You were the CPA from Warrensburg.
That's right.
Came over to file for state rep. Do you remember the day?
I do remember the day, and yes, I was very excited. I didn't know what to expect. Obviously, I was very excited and very nervous as well. So when you come in and you file for this first time, you're like, okay, well, did I get this form? Did I bring my ID? Do they take checks, or do I have to have a cashier's check, or do they take cash? And so we're trying to make that process as easy as possible. But yeah, I remember my first day just like it was yesterday.
It's kind of interesting. You watch, it's almost like nature. You show up your first day, you're looking around, it's like, do I have this? Do I need this?
Right.
And then you were the guy that's like, oh, follow me, kid, I got you.
That's right. Yeah. That's right. Follow me. I feel like I'm old hat at this,
Now you're running.
You're running it.
That's right. Yes, now running it.
I am surprised by how many, I guess I shouldn't be surprised, but there's so many significant others and family members here, because we all know this is, running for office is a team sport.
That's right.
And you have to have the support of your circle to do
That's
it.
right.
What do you, I think that is great that you all have set this up so that this can really be a moment for everybody who's planning to run for office. Is like their kickoff.
It is. Yeah. It is a team sport, and when you run for office, you have to have buy-in, especially from your family. I mean, number one, you have to have buy-in from your family and your friends, and so we want to make this a fun process for every candidate that comes in, where they can take pictures. I know I was meeting with one state rep candidate, and they had their dad there as the official photographer, so he's got his big camera and he's taking all the pictures. He's very excited for the first time that his daughter's filing for the first time. So
I thought you were talking about Brian Seitz and Daniel for a second.
No, they're very excited every time too.
Yeah. I saw a few partners and wives say, okay, here's your social security card, which felt very familiar to me.
Well, that would be me as well. Michelle, I couldn't do this without her, and she keeps me in line. So she would be the one that says, "Hey, here's your social security card. Here's your driver's license. Here's your receipt. Here's your packet. This is what you need.
Wipe your chin off.
Yes, exactly.
Give you the old spit.
Yeah, that's right. Make sure your collar's not up. For the pictures and things like that.
So did you wear is this the top end burgundy jacket? I mean, for the big day?
Well, the answer is 3. I have 3 Missouri red jackets. And so, yes, I think this is one of the newer ones.
It's got to be the top end one.
Yes.
All right. We talked about 20 years ago.
Right.
You filed for office.
Yes.
What's it going to be like next year when you file for office in your own building?
That's right.
How does this work? Do you have to go stand in line? And how does the Secretary of State file for re-election?
They should make him stand
in line. I mean, I might get here early enough so that I am the first one in line in 2020 when filing starts. And so, but
you got the key to the door.
It helps when you got the key to the door and things like that. But 2028 will be here before we know it. But let's make it through 2026.
Wouldn't that be kind of neat though when you walk up to file in your own building?
That will.
Like where all the bathrooms are and everything.
That's right.
But just in courthouses all over the state last night, people spend the night for weeks and days and all this.
Right.
It was a few years, I think it might have been during your time here. People come up with a different system.
That's right.
So if you file on the first day, whether you're at 8:01 or that you're the last guy here in the afternoon, you get a number, right?
Exactly.
It's random. Everybody that files on day one has equal shot to be first on the ballot, right?
That's right. 1 through 999 is up there. And so yes, you pick a number and that you draw your number out of the lottery, and then on the first day, whoever has the lowest number is listed first on the ballot. Whoever has the lowest or I guess the highest number would be on the bottom of the ballot, and then from now on it's just how many people, whatever order that you file in will be where you're at. And then obviously the games sometimes play on the last day of filing.
So how do you decide who you're going to tell which ball has the little mark on it, pick 1 or 5 or 10, right?
I do not give any advice. I don't want to be any
Rachel's in charge
advice.
of that, right?
Yeah, Rachel's
Yeah.
in charge of that. I don't want to give any advice as far as drawing numbers or anything like that.
Well, Secretary, thank you so much for having us.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Appreciate the hospitality.
Thanks for having
And
me.
Thank
Yes.
you.
we're right
Thank
here
you.
with the
Thank
official
you.
state flag designed by Southeast Missourian. This state flag came right out of SEMO. But I like how, when you come to Secretary of State's office, you can't see it, Google this. The first one she drew, right now the bears are like be me and Denny and you be the seal.
Right.
These bears are looking right at you. They're looking
They
at
are.
dinner. So
They
when
look
you
pretty
come to
fierce.
Jeff City, one of the places you got to come, Secretary of State's lobby, all sorts of neat stuff to see, the archives. And you can see Denny, he'll be the one in the red jacket.
That's right.
We'll be right back with a couple candidates freshly filed. Welcome back to Secretary of State's office. I'm Scott Faughn.
And I'm Aaron Shrimp.
And I am Representative Willard Haley.
We are here. You just filed, right? Now, this is your last term?
It is my last term.
So you're an old hat at this. You know where everything is. You know what you need to bring and all that.
It takes a few years to understand the process, but yes, I am entering my last time of campaigning.
Okay, good.
I saw you all walking over together as a caucus. I thought that was a great moment of unity there. Is that a tradition?
It is a tradition.
Wow, that's
yes.
great. That's great.
I mean, you have to spend all day with those folks. Like, can I just not have breakfast alone, right?
Well, we grow to be a family. We,
Yeah.
of course, have our real families, but during the time that we're in Jefferson City, we formulate some excellent relationships, and so we're friends, and we want to help each other and cheer each other on and do things as a family.
I mean, from the middle of April, from Easter to the end of session, you probably are with these people as much as anybody. Sometimes maybe even including your family sometimes.
Very much so, yes.
I love the tie. Shout out
I
to the
do.
corn growers. I
That
like
is a great tie, yeah.
So break down where your district is.
My district is all of Morgan County and all of Monotol County. So it's a very agricultural area.
You should point out home to the California Democrat, outstanding musician.
Yes,
it
yeah.
is.
This Wednesday.
Awesome, yes. And I've been blessed to represent that area. This is ending my 6th year now, and so it's close, not too far from the Capitol. I am thrilled that I get to have so many school groups and so many people from those counties come visit the Capitol, and that's one of my favorite parts of my job.
Okay, you've been in the solar discussion in different parts, right?
Yes.
Okay. There's been a lot of noise about the VLT bill, but most folk in the Senate think that might actually be about solar policy. And they might think that because Cindy kind of says that. If they handed you the pen and said, write the bill that's going to pass, the governor's going to sign this, what would it be on solar policy in the state?
We have to look at solar panels and solar, that it is here. It is going to be taking up some valuable farmland, but yet we don't want to have that land, once the solar is no longer viable for that land, we don't want that land ruined. We don't want the result of the solar panels to have some kind of negative effect on the soil itself. And so I would really want to protect the farm itself, and make sure that once the solar is no longer, maybe it's replaced in the future by nuclear or something else, and I would want to look out for the farmland itself and make sure that can stay productive and in the future years. I also worry about the tax revenue for the counties, that they don't miss out on some tax revenue from that. So there's a few areas that I'd look at that maybe not everybody would look at.
As a Republican, though, I mean, generally, when they were wanting to put grain belt through, right, everybody hated it because you're taking their land. It's not your land to take.
Right.
You stay on the castle doctrine. You stay on your side of the fence. You got to worry about what I do with my land, and you ain't got to get shot. Why does the castle doctrine not apply here? Why don't you just let people do what they want with their land?
Ownership of land is very important to me.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah, and
if you don't have that, what's the rest of this stuff even matter?
That's right.
If you don't
That's
own
right.
your own land.
That's right. So I want to protect the rights of the owners of that land, it's extremely important to me that we go into things to look out for the person that owns the land, has that investment, and that we can preserve it for future use.
I ain't never been shot on a piece of land that wasn't mine.
That's right.
Because I don't go on people's land that ain't mine.
You may be serving your last term with our incoming Speaker of the House, Alex Riley.
Yes.
What has it been like to be in his class coming through? How's your relationship been built over the years? Tell us about what you expect in his term.
Well, 6 years ago, Alex and I got off to a good start. He's always been a friend, and I identified him from the early onset that you're going to be a future leader of our caucus.
Smart dude.
And he actually came to California, Missouri with me when I was running for re-election after my first 2 years, and knocked on doors and was meeting people and assisting me, and also more importantly, getting to know my constituents and their values and their interests.
Someone ran against you?
I did. I had an opponent my first, after serving 2 years. When I was entering my sophomore term, I did have an opponent. And
smoked him, right?
Of course.
Yeah. Anybody gonna file against you today?
I don't know of anybody. I hope not.
I mean, one thing about term limits, put yourself in the position of you're an established member of the community. You've been elected 3 times. Why wouldn't you just wait until you're done? And you have a much better chance of winning, right?
I actually heard someone say that they thought about running to get their name out there it wasn't for my seat, and they said, you know what, though, I decided to just keep my money and not waste money now, and just wait and have a good campaign for when the seat is open. So that would be the wise thing to do.
Representative Haley, thank you very much for joining us. Appreciate it. Best of luck in what I don't anticipate to be a real tough campaign.
Well, thank you very much. I'm just blessed in many ways.
Yep. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Welcome back here. Thanks to the good graces of Rachel Herndon Dunn. We are at the Secretary of State's office.
She let us in.
She did let
this
us in.
morning. Yeah. I'm Aaron Shrimp, and we're here with Paul Berry.
Yes, St. Louis, 1st Congressional District. How you guys doing?
So tell me, why'd you make the decision to run for this seat right now?
Well, the main thing is this. St. Louis is a mess. We got hit with the tornado, and quite frankly, the checks that are being brought home to the district have 1 or 2 less zeros. We need somebody that can deal with Trump for the next 2 years. I'm not a lifetime politician. I'm asking to take this position in 2 years to get St. Louis back in order. And if the Democrats feel like that, don't deserve a second term. But quite frankly, if you want to keep going down the lines of crime, failing schools, and not getting the resources that we need, what we need is a congressperson that's not about giving out orange slices and bottles of water, but actual federal dollars for our infrastructure, for our schools. We need somebody that knows how to make a deal.
How do you work with the Trump administration on that?
It's because when Trump first came, as Scott Faughn is very aware of, I was at the ground floor from his first rally of coming into Missouri. And I've never really called on those favors because I don't do politics for the transactional nature of it. The things I fight for, to be honest with you, they don't really affect me personally, but they affect my friends, the people I went to school with, my cousins. That's why I do this. I could easily move to St. Charles, move to West County, move to Jefferson City.
If you do that, Scott will never have you back on the show.
Yeah.
He would.
But
he would
I
not
just
do
think that if somebody's not making the fight for our community, I think at this point we could really be in trouble. Again, we have a tornado that we're not getting the resources we need. We have things like Annie Malone's parade can't even go on because they don't have the grant funding. And again, I'm not an orange slice water bottle guy. I'm a guy that's going to go there, make the deal that's necessary. It's not going to be pretty, but it's going to get done.
So when you look at this primary, right? Let me be honest with you. A little bit of you is hoping Cori Bush wins this primary, right?
Well, I do. I think I have my pom poms out, Scott.
A little bit. That's what I thought.
But
this race becomes easier to win if you're running against Cori Bush, right?
Well, actually, this is the thing, and this is what people don't understand about the core of St. Louis. Me and Cori have issues on policy. Cori is actually a good woman.
She's a very nice person.
I've seen her help people that you and I would drive past because you and I would be too scared to stop. So she has that quality in her. It's a strictly policy thing that the government is not going to give you things out. When we talk
about to get pro-Israel if she wins that primary.
Well, this is the deal. Cori runs on a lot about African American issues, right? That's her single most important thing. Number one, St. Louis is bigger than that. We have all kinds of people that need to be taken care of. The second and most important thing is that Cori believes the government should be responsible for fixing issues affecting African Americans, and I reckon the government shouldn't be trusted for no such thing. I think that what we should
I don't trust the government.
I don't trust the government either. And it's funny because now the identity of the Democrat Party says we want the government to trust in when the African Americans or hillbillies.
We don't watch hockey and we don't call it.
And that's the one thing I found between Trump supporters and the most ardent African American liberals is that they don't trust the government.
Shout out to Rivers Jones. Number of hockey games voluntarily watched in my life, 0. Number of times I've called the cops, 0. Lifer. Paul, thanks so much for your time, buddy.
I appreciate you guys and nice to meet you.
Nice to meet
See you guys
you.
on the
Right
show.
back here from the Secretary of State's office. Oh, yeah. We got you. You did too much. Welcome back to Secretary of State's office. I am still Scott Faughn.
I'm still Erin Shrimp, and we're still here. They haven't kicked us out yet, so good
Don't
news.
take Rachel off, though.
With Danny Caraway, Todd Caraway from Kirksville. You're running for Danny Busick seat. Sorry, I mixed it up. Danny Busick seat, correct?
That's right.
Yeah?
That's right.
Perfect. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I am a lifelong resident of Adair County in Kirksville. Been up there all my life, raised 3 kids. My wife and I have been married for a long time. But she's definitely my better half. Running for Danny Busick's seat. Decided to do this just to try and make a difference, obviously, hoping that we can solve problems. Danny's done a fantastic job for us up there.
Yeah.
He's a great guy, well-liked. But we feel like, there could be a gap, now that he's going to go away. And I was approached by Senator O'Laughlin, who said, hey, why don't you consider doing this? And kind of hard to say no to that.
People have a hard time saying no.
We just heard a story about a senior senator who had her bill in his committee, and he didn't turn it in. And she went and basically just forced Searport to give it to her. And she took it. I mean, he's been in politics for 20 years, and she humbled him very quickly.
Well, she's done a fantastic job, and I admire her greatly. So, it was really hard to say no. And I've never been in politics before in my life, but decided I'd give this a try. And my wife was supporting. She was on board. So decided that we would do this.
So how cool is it to go up at the state capitol, walk down the hill with all your potential future colleagues, walk in this terrific building and go through this whole cattle guard and file? And that's a day that we were just talking to Willard Haley and Denny Hoskins. Guys have been this a long time. You never forget today.
Today has been an actual top 5 highlight day.
That's awesome.
Just coming to actual file. Besides getting married, having my kids, this is a top day, definitely.
And for what it's worth, as someone that gets set in the peanut gallery and cover what you'll be doing, hope you always keep a little bit of that, right? Keep a little bit of that spirit of that. There's a humbleness and excitement and a sense of service that you kind of get walking through here the first time. So it's an honor to get to be here, and I hope you always keep a little bit of that.
Well, it's great to meet all these people that are working hard for us and see it from the other way around. And I'm humbled by what I'm getting to learn. And I hope I can represent, the folks back home the right way.
What do you want to do?
Well, the focus will be on rural health care, to start with.
Somebody needs to care about rural health care.
We've got, a regional hospital.
In this entire town, you'll be person 1 that cares about rural health care.
Well, it'll be
They'll all talk about it.
It'll be a focus for me if I'm elected.
So what is it? Are you going to be frustrated, though? Because you're a Republican, correct?
Yeah, we have.
They only care about St. Louis. They're obsessed with St. Louis. Their top 50 priorities is always St. Louis,
I hope
right?
you get used to the shtick that he does.
You're from rural Missouri.
I watch
Are
him.
you going to be tough enough to say, guys, I need to take a break from our 90 to St. Louis bill today. Maybe we could do one thing for our constituents. Do you think we're too nice in rural Missouri? We just let the St. Louis people roll us all the time.
I do think we're too nice in rural
I agree
Missouri.
with you.
So one of the things, that I heard people talk about when I started exploring this was, well, you guys are north of 36. You just don't matter.
Wow.
I heard that.
Wow.
I think that
Try being south of 44, brother.
I think that myth is more true than it is just a myth. But
I think it's very true.
I intend to rattle the tree hard enough
that
we change that.
I would
Let's do
even
that.
tell you if you're north of 70 and you
You're
can't see the towers at Columbia, they don't give a damn.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, we've got to turn that around. That's all there is to that.
Thank God for Sam Graves.
We have, exactly, and we've got great representation there, but we have to have great local representation in our backyard. We got to take care of our backyard.
Absolutely.
Right.
Todd, thank you so much for joining us, man.
Thank you.
you, Todd.
I appreciate
Yeah.
your
Don't
time.
forget that rural health care, man.
We won't.
You're going to get up here, and every one of your colleagues at St. Louis, St. Louis, St. Louis, St. Louis, St. Louis. Keep it on that rural health care, man.
And we'll just work hard.
What a cool thing it is to get to be here on the first day of the political career of Todd Caraway, rural health care guy. Love that. We'll be right back with a few more folks here on the TWMP Daily from the Secretary of State's office. Welcome back to the Secretary of State's office, right outside Rachel Dunn's office here. We are joined by another candidate with their first time filing.
Yes.
Yeah, Stephanie Gooden, you're running for Mark Nolte's seat in Saline County.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about where you're from and why you're running.
All right. Well, again, my name is Stephanie Gooden, and I come from Saline County, and I'm going to run for the 51st District, Mark Nolte, which covers part of Lafayette and part of Saline County. I currently seat as a commissioner, have been on my 8th year, and I'm
So
ready.
you've had to put up with Curtis Gregory for
Absolutely.
years.
Oh, wow.
You know what? Curtis
should've
has
started
said,
with that.
okay,
Yeah.
yeah. So
Can put up
Senator
with Curtis.
Gregory, Representative Gregory, then Senator Gregory has been phenomenal for our county.
That's
Truly,
really nice of you to say.
Yeah, he paid me. So, got that, Curtis. So, anyhow, but I'm running to bring local level experience to the state level. That's my heart. That's my passion. I just can't wait to serve the constituents on the state level.
This has been a big session for talking about local issues.
Yes.
Property taxes has been a
Yes.
huge topic.
Yes.
Where do you stand on that issue? Where you've been following the debate in the current
Okay,
legislature?
so property tax, real estate tax, personal property, all of it, we all agree that there needs to be some reformation. How, that's the contentious question. So what we need to do, if you want my opinion, and it goes from the state level down, the State Tax Commission needs a total overhaul. And they need to enforce the rules that are set on the local level. But it needs to start top down. The State Tax Commission definitely needs to be.
You would bring a really interesting perspective to that conversation as a former county commissioner if you're elected.
You are the person everybody talks about doing.
Yeah.
All the commissioners complain because in my view, you've had Republicans want to cut taxes, cut. But they don't want to stop spending any money. So what I've watched them do
That's
is
exactly
take
right.
money off the state balance
Yep.
book and shove it on the counties.
You have no idea. I mean, it goes from property tax. So if you think about property tax, real estate property tax is really a service tax. I mean, what does it fund? Our schools, our
Roads,
ambulance, our roads. I mean, very
Fire.
You're
vital
running.
infrastructure.
Actually, you can sit up there and say, guys,
Yeah.
let me tell you, you're not cutting taxes. You're
Right.
just shoving
You're shifting
the
it on
burden
us.
down.
Exactly.
Which disproportionately hurts
That's
rural
it.
folks.
It does.
Exactly.
It does. Yeah.
Exactly right. And I mean, I wish it would stop at property tax, but if you look at our judicial system, I mean, we've got guardian ad litem representation, sheriff pension, we've got sheriff salary, and now we've got a proposal for Senate Bill 888 to raise prosecuting attorneys'
It's so
salaries.
funny. At the state level, they're like, federal government, stop telling us what to
Thank
do. And then they look down at
you.
county and say, we're going to tell you
Thank
everything
you.
to do.
I tell you, this is why I'm running. I am so fed up with state-funded, unfunded mandates to the
Unfunded
local
mandates.
level. We like local control. We can handle local control. Get the money to the locals. Let us deal with it, and stop telling us how to spend our local money.
She says it like she means it.
She's
Yeah.
preaching to
Sorry.
the choir over
I
here.
totally agree.
Wow.
Nobody gets more
You
views
might
than
be on
county
the show
government.
Yeah.
quite a bit.
That's right.
If you get
But
elected.
Big question here.
Yeah.
Have you secured the Kellogg Gregory endorsement?
I have.
Okay, well, this is over.
Here we
folks.
go. Yes.
Now the paperwork's
Wow,
filled out.
okay. This is a
Representative-elect
clip. We
Stephanie
need to.
Gooden.
Yep, we
Yes,
need to clip
thank
this.
you.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so
Thank
much for
you
making
all
the time. I
very
appreciate
much.
it. Congratulations
Yeah,
on what is a
thanks.
day. It's a little different if you filed for commissioner,
Yeah.
but still, what an awesome day. I
It
hope
is.
some of you always remember. Thank you for sharing a little bit with us.
Thank you for having me on. I appreciate
Absolutely.
it very much.
We'll be right back here from the Secretary of State's office, unless Rachel pulls the plug after this. Welcome back to Secretary of State's office, filing day, the official kickoff of the Missouri political season.
Yes, sir.
Aaron Shrimp, I'm still here. We think Rachel Dunn is still here because she hasn't kicked us out yet.
Yes.
But we're here with Tony Lazak, who is running to replace my good friend, Mr. Don Mayhew.
Yes, ma'am.
You would have some pretty big shoes to fill. So
Listen, that
how do
man's
you
an
plan
animal,
to do
and he's
it?
running for Senate, so I got to get a plug in there.
Yeah.
He'll do us right, and there's plenty of other people to vote for too, but Don'll knock it out of the park. High
Feel
energy.
any pressure because Don Mayhew might be the most opinionated man I know.
That's right.
I
That's
mean,
right.
you have big shoes to fill, if nothing else, just for sheer volume of opinions.
No doubt, and you have to avoid a couple of topics, or you'll be there an hour. 'Cause people say
I'm
I
always
talk a
there an
lot, but
hour.
Don will pin you down. So be
Yeah,
careful.
I'll be able to tell if Don's still here. MoDOT.
Yes. Yes.
3, 2.
Now
He's
I
gone.
might have instigated them.
He's
didn't
not here. He would have been over here right
Yeah.
now.
I might have instigated him because that strip of highway we could have fixed our problem. We have a lot of deaths there every month. Most deaths happen right there in my county every month because of the deal they made in Kansas City. That ain't going to work out and spend 3 times the amount of money they should have. We could have solved both problems in a third of the money.
You have been listening to Mr. Mayhew.
He's
I
been
think.
listening to me.
Okay.
He'll tell you too
Yeah.
if you ask him. If you don't ask him, it's all
So-
You
gone.
really have no choice but to listen to Don Mayhew because he's so loud that
Yeah.
you'll listen whether you want to or not.
So the Raleigh issue was a big deal too. And you brought up Don. I don't take over conversations all the time, but most of the time. But the Raleigh issue was a big deal too, and those fines were ridiculous. So I want you guys to look it up. And how they handled that and the wrongness of that stopped all of our business for a long time. And a lot of the truckers don't even take that route anymore, and our businesses are running out. The highway business we have.
Yeah.
So we need to bring that back, and now that the highway.
How are you
fixed.
going to deal with, though, Don Mayhew would be the worst backseat driver in the history of the world? I mean, if you mess up at all, he's going to be all over you.
Yeah.
And I would be.
No pressure.
I'm embarrassed to say I run around with him a lot. So Don, for the last 20 years, we've been putting up all the Republican signs from Rolla to Lebanon. If we have Republican candidates, we put up their signs. During the primaries, we go for everybody.
Everybody? That's no good.
Oh no, primaries.
You got to pick a side.
No, when you go to generals, you pick a side. Support everybody in the
If you're
primaries.
not involved in primaries in the States, you're not really in politics.
Yeah.
All right, it is a wrestling match,
What
but we're
about the state
hometown.
Senate
We're
primaries?
hometown.
You pick a side?
So listen now, Don Mayhew and Bill Hardwick are my good friends. I didn't know Bill was running until I already been helping Don for a year. So they're gentlemen. They say they're running shoulder to shoulder because we're Republicans, right? They both do a good job. They just do their job in a different way. So their personalities and their attitudes are a little bit different.
They're much different.
But they're
yeah.
activities
Last
and their
till about
interests.
the third week of June, and then we cut each other's
no.
throats.
Now, that's fine too because there is slight differences, so you look for them. But listen, get on board, pick one, study them, find the one you want, get behind them, come tell me who they are, I'll help you do it.
So, what now, Pulaski County?
Yes.
But not the base, right?
Not the base. That's 121. Ben Rudy's the only Republican running right now. He's got his little buddy, his service dog. So you got to check him out. It's a lot of fun. I hope you meet him.
There
But
you go.
right now
Aaron likes
he
dogs.
doesn't have
I
a
do.
primary right now.
I like all
so.
animals,
You
really.
do?
Yes.
Well, Buddy's the best.
Oh, yeah, like you're not getting like donkeys and
Actually,
chickens
almost all of my farm animals come from Laclede County. From
Laclede
Lebanon.
County?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now listen, Bill Hardwick is back in Ben really good, and
People
he's
have lost their animals at Jeff Knight's racket,
Yes,
and they
yeah.
end up at her farm.
Yeah, exactly.
So if you have an animal and you're short on money, call Jeff Knight. It'll end up in a good home.
It will.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
will.
Hey, one thing I want to put out, and you might not ask, is listen, we have a lot of different transition. If we're going to protect conservative in the state, we got to get out the vote. So if you haven't been voting because you know Republicans win everywhere we're at, get out anyways. At
Or
least
Trump's not on the ballot.
Well, okay.
There
I
you
let
go.
Trump.
That's going to be.
I let
How
Trump
are you going to deal with
speak for
that?
himself,
Yeah.
right?
How do you think that the party will deal with that in the midterms with Trump not being at the top this year?
Well, I think that we need to focus on state. So let the federal government do what they do, and don't be tied up in the federal government. We have a lot of things to
I
pay
think we
attention to
should
in the
build a
state.
wall on the river, on the western side of the Mississippi,
Okay.
to keep all the Washington people out of here.
All right, if you can convince people, I'll help you put the first brick
You have
in.
to let Sam Graves back in, or else we won't have any money.
Well, he's not from Washington. He's from Turkey.
I find that interesting that you said that.
But his girlfriend can come.
You
She
gotta
can
let
come.
him,
She-
you gotta
he
let him
got
come
you.
back. You
Yeah.
gotta let him pass through so we can bring the federal dollars back.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
What's the most interesting thing you had somebody say today that you thought you didn't know about before? You
There
really
was actually a
interested?
rural Missourian that cared
Yeah,
about
rural
health
healthcare, yeah.
And
That
now
was
when you come,
actually-
see,
Hey.
you're going to come up and you're going to want to help your district and all these things.
Yeah, yeah.
But the entire Republican Party cares about one thing and one thing only: St. Louis. That's all they care
I
about.
understand that, and I helped a bunch of candidates out there
it'll
and
be-
made it go
I think
nowhere.
they
so-
filed 10,000 bills. 987 of them were about St. Louis. So you're going to be very disappointed when you come up here thinking you're going to help your district, but nobody else even knows where it is. They all care about St. Louis.
That's why you got to build relationships.
I want to
and you gotta
congratulate you
win
on
it
your
over.
campaign for St. Louis
Thank you,
Alderman.
thank you,
I mean, Republican state representative. No, I'm just kidding. Tony, thank you so much. Hope you come back.
Yeah,
and
I
visit
love you
us.
guys. I appreciate what you do for us.
Thank you very much. I
thank you.
appreciate that. We're going to be right back. I think I see Jeff Fernetti, the very dapperly clad Jeff Fernetti. We'll have him after this.
Thank you.
At the Secretary of State's office, Aaron and I now joined by the very dapperly attired Jeff Fernetti.
Try it.
Very
Filing
slick
day.
looking. You're the only person I know that's gotten skinnier as a freshman state rep.
Had to make the move.
Buck the trend.
You're
Exactly.
skinnier than
Exactly.
you were when you came to town. That never
Oh yeah,
happens.
yeah.
Yeah.
30,
Yeah,
I agree.
30 pounds. Well, this is
Yes.
it's the most unhealthy building you can ever work in.
yet you've lost weight in it.
between the suites and the hour, you just got a 5 o'clock gym this morning. Why don't you join me? You get up at 5.
Now, Jeff, you
Do a
know
little,
damn good
do a little
well I
hanging
take-
and banging, you
I
know,
take
and be
way
ready
too
to
much
go.
to be up at 5 a.m.
That's the other thing. You got to cut back on that. So in moderation.
Well, see, that's just racist. I'm a German. That doesn't happen.
Again, I was
That's
a
very
walk. I was
Italian of you to say.
a
Yeah.
walking heart attack, so I had to do something. So
He's just trying to get his summer body ready for his
Exactly, it's
for
lake-
the lake,
lake time.
for the when you live at the
Yeah,
lake, you
exactly.
have to be
I
ready
go
all
to
the
work for
time.
a couple days, and you call it home. That's totally
exactly.
different.
When you're in a bathing suit for several months of the year, it's time to work out. But
I
yeah.
see your point.
Yeah.
So filing for your second term.
Yep.
Still kind of cool, ain't it?
It was very cool. I mean, first time around, I primaried somebody, so I didn't
Yeah.
have this experience of, walking down the
Oh,
hill.
they all
walking down,
side-eyed you when you
walking,
came in.
walking. Well, they didn't know who I was. I mean, that's the thing. You'd walk down the hill with everybody today. It was just a fun experience just to see, everybody. And yeah, obviously there's a room with a lot of people that some people are running against each other, for these open seats and things. But yeah, it was a good experience. Only going to get to do it a couple of times, so neat to do.
Tell us about the lake area. Do you guys have any open seats this?
Yeah,
this
our Senate seat is open, so
Okay.
everyone's kind of watching that.
Yeah.
With Senator Bernstetter
Yeah.
being term limited, there's I think 5 people that are going to be running for that, so people are paying attention to that.
Yeah.
And
So
then-
they all the candidates walk around and look at your face real careful to
Yeah.
see.
Try to see.
Oh
who
no,
a lot of
he's
that.
never
Yeah.
for Vogel. No.
Yeah.
He's for Spicer. I know
yeah,
it.
yeah. So
He's with Rudy. I saw them do a bill.
I go to every candidate's things but one, so you can guess that. But we've got that, and then I also have 2 other seniors around me. Don Mayhew's term limited, and
Okay.
Jeff Knight's term limited. So. Jeff's got Laclede, which is lake adjacent. So yeah,
Oh,
Term
we-
limits are always tough, right?
just
You hate
talking
to lose
about-
folks like
Yeah.
Mayhew, but at least you get to get rid of Knight. So I mean, it does
Well,
average out a little
Some
bit.
of us are sad about that,
Yeah.
Scott.
Well, just
I-
because
I am
he's your,
too.
I have
he's
your
your
back,
animal
okay?
smuggling dealer.
I am too.
Everybody's
No.
got to have an animal smuggler.
The dark night market of animal smuggling.
He's mad because all my farm animals come from Laclede County, and I brag
just
about
think
it.
it's a coincidence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is
No.
not a coincidence.
I've been very lucky to have good seniors around me, and then Willard Haley, a junior.
is old.
It's,
Knight
just-
is
it's
old.
great. So and Knight is old, 9 years.
He's,
so
they're
we had the
watching,
9-year
and
house.
Amy, you're gonna make Amy Knight upset, and she's gonna walk herself
Amy's
down here
not
and
old.
file.
We were trying to get her to file today.
I
don't
know.
think it
Jeff,
happened.
not
I
Amy.
want.
Let's be clear.
We're gonna be on Amy Knight lookout now. She's gonna get mad and come down here and file.
Kelton made me say that, by the way. So Jeff, what do you want to do in your next term?
Yeah, really excited about kind of the direction we're taking. I'm very excited about all the tax cuts that we're doing and getting rid of that. But I'm trying to be, as one of the few business owners in the House, trying to do business-centric things. We, hopefully it'll pass on the Senate side. Got our ADA website bill done, but just really looking at things to strengthen Missouri's economy and grow our business community and just be more welcoming for businesses to come here. So just continue to look for those things.
Look, Jeff Renetti.
Thank
Great
you.
to see
Thank you guys for having me. Appreciate it.
Thank
So
you.
every year, just pressure when you file, we're going to come here and we'll interview and see what the weight is.
Yeah,
how
we'll see if I
you've dropped it
fluctuate.
off.
See if I
Yeah.
fluctuate up and
We're
down.
gonna make candidate filing a weight check-in.
Make it accountable, yes.
Jeff
Exactly.
Renetti.
Jeff, thank you so much. We'll be right back. I think I see Brian Seitz here. That'll be fun.
Welcome back to Candidate Filing. I'm Jay Crozen, joined by Aaron Shrimp and Representative Mark Boyko. Thank you for taking the time, man.
Sure thing. Thanks for having me.
So this is going to be your second term filing, correct?
Yeah.
Awesome. How's your first term going so far?
It's going pretty well. Obviously, it's a lot of learning, a lot of drinking from a fire hose, but we getting the hang of things and doing what we can to make Missouri a better state.
Yeah.
So you'll be in your, hopefully in your sophomore term.
Yep.
You might have a few freshmen coming in. What kind of role do you hope to play to kind of help the freshman minority members?
Yeah, really excited about a lot of the potential freshmen that,
Yeah.
that we've got running, and I think that we will have some more company, which is going to be nice, and a lot of talent too. So we have a good freshman class this year. I think we're going to have perhaps even a better one.
Grow your numbers a little bit? Is that a prediction?
That's a prediction.
Okay,
That's a prediction.
we heard it here. We've heard it from Mark Boyko. We think that there might be a few House members picked up.
Yeah. Even if you don't pick up a ton of House members, you do have some really solid ones coming in to replace outgoing members. Tori Schaefer.
Yeah.
Super impressive.
Crowd favorite.
But it seems like you really do have some good freshmen coming in to replace those outgoing senior.
Yeah, and Tori's going to be fantastic. And certainly, she'll have a primary, but I think that we'll find her in the building, and
either way,
she'll be doing great things for the state in either whatever
Yeah.
capacity she's in, as she's done in the past.
Some of your colleagues are moving on to some tough Senate races. Do you have any predictions for the Springfield or the Lee Summit Senate race?
No, I think that Betsy's got a great shot. She's a perfect candidate for that district, and her knowledge of the budget and commitment to Missourians in her district and statewide has just been phenomenal, and really something for me to admire in my first term.
Well, you got any fun bills you're pushing this year?
Fun bills. Well, I've got a bill to make April 5th racquetball day in the state of Missouri, so I'm really hoping that the speaker moves that one on. But for the most part, my bills are designed to lower costs for Missourians, get more qualified teachers into the classrooms, and protect our public education system and protect our kids from guns and other things that we need to protect them from.
Awesome. Well, Mark, thank you so much for taking the time. I hope you're able to get through this whole maze in here. So.
Sounds good. Thanks for having me.
We'll be right back with Representative Brian Seitz after this.
Welcome back. I'm Aaron Shrimp. I'm here with Jake Cresson. We're here on candidate filing day at the Secretary of State's office. Here with one of my personal favorites in the General Assembly, Superman himself, Representative Brian Seitz from Branson.
It's good to be here.
Yeah,
Truth,
how does it feel?
Justice, and the American way.
Yeah.
Hey, it's my last term. I'm trepidatious about that, but we've been doing good things for the people of the state of Missouri. So I ran a lot of big legislation, especially on the Republican side, pro-life legislation. If you don't have life, taxes don't matter, sports don't matter. You have to have life, and life begins at conception, and we've been protecting that well. I've also run numerous pieces of legislation dealing with adult victims of child sexual abuse. I think it's very important that they be heard, and I'm their advocate here in the State House. So I've had a great first 3 terms, and I'm ready to jump into my 4th.
Yep.
The evolution of your career in the first 6 years has really been fun to watch.
Sure.
What have you learned about working with leadership, working within the party, and also working across the aisle sometimes? I've noticed that while you might be on very far sides from some of your Democratic colleagues, your rapport with them is great. What would be your advice to other candidates here today?
Thank you. In reality, it is all about relationships. It takes 82 people to pass a bill. I came in really hot. In my first term, righteous indignation, fighting against the scamdemic and COVID tyranny and so forth. And I was right on many of those issues, but I equate it to this. We're all sitting around a table and the game of poker is being played. You can come in here and say, well, no, the game should be hearts. And you're all wrong, and I'm going to sit down at the table and I'm going to play hearts. Well, the bottom line is you lose every hand. You have to learn how to navigate the system, and I think I've done that over the past few years while keeping conservative ideology at the forefront.
Yeah, I mean, last year and this year, it seems like every time I walk in the House chamber, you've got a bill you're presenting that day. You've been very busy.
That is true. That's true.
I get some people looking at me kind of squinty-eyed because I'm always on the floor, but again, you know, at 64 years of age, I've got, 25 years left. I got to get it done now, and that's what I'm doing.
Yeah. Is there any bills this year that you're really excited about pushing right now?
I think the statute of limitations increase for adult victims of child sexual abuse. I've never gotten a no vote on that legislation. We really need to push that, as well as the possibility of a look back, getting it put into the state constitution, narrowly tailored for victims of child sexual abuse, that we could look back in time, maybe at the places where this activity, this horrid activity took place, and hold those that did it accountable. So really advocating for kids, life in the womb. We need to cut taxes here in the state of Missouri. I don't think we're doing a very good job of that. So we're going to have to start. I think the governor's moving that initiative along, and I'm going to be at the forefront of that as well.
In a year where things seem to be really slowing down, do you have hope that your statute of limitations bill can get across the line, sort of bipartisan?
I think so. It is one of the few pieces of bipartisan legislation that we're putting forward. So I think, though the Senate is, they're doing some minor filibusters and so forth, I think for legislation like this, common sense dictates, just general decency, we're going to let that legislation go through without the filibuster and without the negative activity on the Senate floor. We're doing it in the House. We'll see what the Senate can do.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. We will be back here momentarily with more candidates.
Appreciate it.
We're back at the Secretary of State's office. Jake didn't get fatter. We switched sides. That's Scott Faughn.
Well, we have Scott back. He was getting chastised there for a minute by Rachel, but we have him back. And we are also here with Bethany Mann, who's running for the 3rd Congressional District. Bethany, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm a mom, I'm a scientist, environmental chemist, and I'm a military daughter.
Sounds really
and
smart.
That's impressive.
Are you too smart for politics?
You may have checked too many boxes.
I might have.
What's an environmental scientist mean? That's cool.
So I so I started my career helping soybean producers test their soybean
cool.
and other commodity brokers test their corn. And then in the past 8 years or so, I've been working on the environmental side of things. I specialize in water chemistry. So I go into a place where they're having issues with water, and I recommend what kind of technology and lab stuff that they can do to test and solve their problems.
You might actually be a rural agricultural person that might actually understand rural issues.
I have walked around.
Beer?
What was that?
Would help with beer?
Well, that's not where I was going.
Yeah. Water quality improves the taste of your beer. It makes sure that the products is mixed properly. It keeps bugs out of your beer. And we need people who can speak to agricultural needs and how water quality, how crop resistance, what is happening to our commodities when they're produced. Are our farmers getting the right prices?
Well, as you would know, being from the eastern part of the state, once spring training opens, we start the countdown to Oktoberfest. Now, do the Royals have spring training, or do they just like go in their mom's backyard and play catch?
That's not what we do. Is anybody even going down to Jupiter this year? I heard a
Do you even know where the Royal spring training is?
Yes, it's in Arizona.
What town in Arizona?
I think it's Scottsdale, isn't it?
Oh my God! See,
Wait,
I
hold
knew
on.
this. She
Might
says she's a
actually be
Royals
wrong.
fan, but no one's actually a Royals fan.
I think I might actually be wrong. It's somewhere
She claims to
in
be a
Arizona.
Royals fan. As you know, being from running in the third, the JV team, no one really cares about, right? No. See, she knows what's up. She's a scientist. She knows what's going on.
Please, somebody take that clip. That's my first time I've heard him
She's
say that.
She's a learned scientist. She understands these things.
So what is your platform? Tell us a little bit about the issues that you're going to run on and talk to the 3rd District about.
Sure. So I'm running a campaign to bring Missourians together. I believe, like so many of us do, that all of us deserve freedom. We deserve the freedom to drink clean water, breathe clean air, leave something better for our future. We should have the freedom to make choices about what happens to our body without having a medical bill that makes us take out a second mortgage. And finally, we do deserve the freedom to organize our labor, fight for safe job sites, and to make sure that corporations are paying their fair share without squeezing the little guy too much. And I feel like a lot of working families are feeling pretty squeezed right now.
Freedom to drink. I love that.
Yep.
You said that first.
Yeah.
So Bob Onder comes in.
Yes.
There are some folks over here that's like, oh gosh, I'm going to listen to abortion all the time. But Bob has done something. He's filled out all of his earmarks, which to me, if you don't do earmarks, why do you go to Congress? It was a totally wasted trip, right?
Yeah.
If you don't bring home money, the money that the people of the 3rd District, which we're in right now, pay, I swear that some of these Republicans should wear a ski mask to work. They don't bring home any money. And what's the point?
Absolutely.
I will say, Bob deserves credit. He filled out all of his earmarks. If you're in Congress, will you do the same? Will you actually try to bring people's money home?
Yes, and I'm going to make sure that not just big corporations get that money to trickle down to working families. I'm going to make sure that the investments impact working families, working moms, the most.
You got to be excited about the 3rd. I mean, the I-70 stuff's about a third of the whole work is through the 3rd District. It is going to be a transformation. It sucks right now. I mean, it's awful. You get a little bit west of Wentzville, you just might as well plan on sitting for a half hour. When it gets done, though, it's going to be a transformational thing in the state.
Oh, absolutely. I grew up out in Forestell, so I'm used to that.
They write too many speeding tickets in Forestell.
They always have.
Let's just be
They
real.
always have.
That is a total scam in Forestell.
That's how they paid for some of their overpasses.
Isn't that bad? I mean, should you not just be able to scam people? We have a problem with that here in town, but it's on a different level.
We want safety for people when they're traveling down the roads, but yeah, it
Just
has
buy a
been
bigger
something
truck.
to see those.
You'll be totally safe when you drive.
Yeah, that is true.
If my F-150 gets hit, it's got to be by a semi, and I'm going to be all right. If everybody's drove an F-150, we'd all be good. Thank you so much for making the time. What do folks need to know about you as this campaign kicks off?
Well, I look forward to talking with you guys more. Thank you for having me on.
It's always nice to meet a scientist, Cardinal fan.
Blues fan. I'm a hockey
There you go.
fan.
Kelton likes that.
Yeah.
We'll be right back. There's no more candidates after this. Oh, we got. Don't run off. Back at the Secretary of State's office, another candidate, first timer.
Yep.
Yes, I'm Erin Shrimp, and I'm here with Niles Stevens, who I thought was running for Congress because he looks so
He does look a little congressional.
Not ready for that yet.
That suit is tailored. He's looking good.
Yeah, he is not, though. He is running for the open seat left by Justin Sparks.
Correct.
Yes. So tell us a little bit about yourself and why you're running.
So husband, father, been a conservative leader out in West St. Louis County. So I help Justin Sparks do his town hall meetings. I'm a Republican committee man. Helped David Gregory get elected out there for Senate District 15.
That name.
Yeah. So he's been great for us. And I've just been really active in the local community at the municipal level.
Beat a tax increase, right?
Beat a tax increase last year, keeping more money in your pocket. So that's really the issues that I'm going to be focused on is taxes, budget. We're going to have a big budget challenge here in the state, and so I'm ready for that. So.
Yeah.
He's got a solid pocket square game, which I
does.
appreciate.
Oh, thank you.
I'm going to tell you, when you come to Jeff City, it's going to be so funny, all the people that you meet that's going to heard of you because of David Gregory. David Gregory is a big fan of yours.
Yeah.
Right.
The people I know of you because David is such, you were very, very instrumental in his win, which that seat could have went Democrat. That was a tightly contested race.
Very much so. They had a good candidate out there in Joe Peerless, but David wasn't from that area. A lot of people don't realize that.
Sunset Hills guy.
Yeah, he was from down south, and so when he came out to West County, he did a great job connecting with some of the local people. And I was in one of those groups who got together with him and was like, okay, I like this guy. This is our horse. We're gonna get him across the finish line. So.
And I don't know if you knew this, but in St. Louis, they consider Chesterfield and Sunset Hills not St. Louis.
Okay.
When he says down south, he just means like 3 or 4 exits down.
Okay. Yeah. It's hard for me. I'm not from that side.
When
of
you
the
say down
state,
south, I
so.
thought he meant Farmington, but no, he doesn't. He meant Sunset Hills.
Yeah,
I
South
think
St. Louis is totally different than West St. Louis or North St. Louis or
as
anything
you
else.
come to Jeff City, you'll realize everything from Wentzville to Arnold is just St. Louis to the rest of us.
And you
true.
said
That's
Cape
true.
as well. I heard you say that.
Well, Cape
earlier.
wants to be Festus. That's the great ambition of Cape Girardi.
I
is
just
to
want to
become
be.
Festus.
I just want to be clear here. I don't think that you are St. Louis Cape. This is.
No,
true
you want to
Scott's
be
word.
St. Louis.
We're going to make Scott an honorary St. Louisan because he loves St. Louis so much. He loves the Cardinals. Him and Gussie come up
for
there.
You,
so.
you are joining a legislature that already adopts your whole agenda.
Yeah.
The only thing they care about is St. Louis. So you are walking into among friends.
Well,
You're
we
being an honored
might bring
person.
back the St. Louis speaker. You never know. Brad Christ, might get in there in the future.
Yeah,
So
might happen.
yeah, we might need to do that.
So now break this down for me. I know, Philip Oler King has one of, if not, it's like the top 1 or 2 tightest. I had to ask Hannah. Phil was in a very competitive seat, right?
Yes.
Then you now Ben Keithley is now in a competitive seat. You're the next seat west.
Right.
You're not maybe in that top tier competitive seats, but your seat is trending more and more favorable to the Democrats. How do you take that into account when you're running? When I think of you, I think of conservative,
Correct.
committed, legitimate conservative. How do you tailor your campaign though? Because it used to be Phil Oler King's seat was totally red, so was Ben's, so was yours. Now Phil's is, if anything, it kind of leans Democrat. Phil actually has to run a hell of a campaign to win that.
Right.
Ben is now very competitive. You're kind of into the pretty competitive. How does that affect your campaign when you're conservative, but your constituents, it's sort of a shifting sand?
Well, I don't know how much it's shifted when I knock on doors. I hand them the card. Hey, I'm Niles running for state rep, and they're just scanning it for the word conservative. Mm-hmm. They still want people that are going to be focused on families, focused on making sure that we have good schools out there. And it's a bedroom community in Wildwood. Nobody works in Wildwood. We live there, we raise our families there, and we go off other places to work. And
they have a great movie theater.
Yeah, they do have a great movie theater, but they still want candidates who are going to reflect traditional family values, and I think that I can do that. And
I think you reflect that.
Yes, for sure. I got the 3 kids and the wife.
Reflects it, right? That is a Republican blue suit.
So this may be looking a little far down the line, 2 or 3 years, but you mentioned Representative Christ. He carried the governor's crime bill last year. If in a few years we don't see significant change in St. Louis on crime, what do you think that looks back on the legislature? What things will you be able to do, I think, in a few years if that problem is still there?
Right. Well, they've done some good things on that board already. So just this last year, they have instituted pay raises David Gregory's bill helped get the recruitment efforts up and everything. So it is going to take time. So I don't know if you can grade it over a 3-year period. We've seen a reduction in crime anyway across since President Trump has closed the border. Crime has went down, and so crime in the city of St. Louis is trending down within the last year, but we want to see that continue for 3, 4, 5, 7 years out. So I think we're in a good space.
What if Erin told you she was going to dinner tonight on Washington Avenue? Would you be like, ooh, I don't know?
Yeah, I would say, well, you should head a little further west. Maybe Central West End might be your. No, we still need to work on our downtown area, not only for the real crime, but also the perception of crime. Because sometimes you can be down there.
Truth in that.
You can, it's not any worse than any other major metropolitan area necessarily, but the reputation is horrible, and so we need to change that around.
Blake, you'll meet Blake. Blake's a pretty stout guy, former wrestler. They could go in the Central West End, you feel okay, right?
Right.
But Washington Avenue would be like, I don't know yet. To me, that's the difference. When the city, Washington Avenue is like 4 blocks from the ballpark, right? At some point, that should be safe. And I think that's kind of it used to be, I used to feel totally safe on Washington Avenue. I went there frequently. Rachel used to live on Washington Avenue, but she's made of tougher stuff than me.
Right.
But today, you wouldn't go to dinner there without at least crossing your mind, is this safe?
So we're still working on that.
It's that perception you're talking about.
Well, it's not the perception, and that's where the young rowdy kids go. And so when we were young, we probably, she's, a hellraiser when she was young, I'm sure. But the younger crowd, they do cause some problems. But we're working on that with the juvenile crime legislation that's going through this year. And so to address some of those issues where we see the problem and we see the people that are the problem, but they just keep filtering through the system and there's never any accountability. And so when we have real accountability and we increase the number of police, I do believe that we will get that under control.
Folks, I'm going to give you a Vogel Distributing Diet Coke can of knowledge prediction. I think Niall's going to be the new state rep from the 110.
I agree.
Look forward to seeing you down here, buddy.
All right. Sounds great. Thank you. Nice to meet you.
Much.
We'll be right back. I'm going to do one more, then Jake will be back after this. We're back in the Missouri Secretary of State's office. Erin and I, we got one more in us.
We do. I think so. We've lost Jake for a minute, but I'm still here, and we are here with Rose Gaddis, who is running to replace Lewis Griggs up in the Northeast in District 5.
Lewis Riggs in District 5, Marion and
so
Ross
smart.
County.
Lewis is so smart.
He's brilliant. Did you know that, you wouldn't know this, but he was actually one of my professors in college.
Oh, wow.
When I went to
This is
HLG.
interesting.
I think Lewis is super smart, but I'm afraid Lewis probably made you show up a lot and take attendance.
I had to have good attendance.
That wasn't what you're looking for at SEMO.
Scott, this is an area Scott's not going to be able to help with.
We were looking for some gentleman C's there at SEMO.
He didn't go to class, so. What class was it? What was he a professor of?
That was a long time ago, and I'm not going to date myself quite that badly. But I was in nursing school at HLG, so I was blessed to have him as one of my professors. And then his wife was also the director of the nursing program at the time.
Wow, that's impressive.
So, yeah.
Okay,
So
full circle.
Tell me about yourself. What do you do?
A lot. I'm a real estate agent. That's my kind of full-time gig. It gives me a nice way of life so that I can come and go as I please and be involved in the community. But I'm also a registered nurse, and I teach medical assisting at a community college.
You do a lot. My goodness.
Yeah, I teach the anatomy and physiology and medical law and ethics there.
Wow.
So it's got to kind of be, I always thought real estate, because you're in sales, a lot of those skills you build in sales transfer to politics, right?
It's all relationships.
Yeah.
Yeah, both are relationships. I'm not a hard press. I'll probably never bring in more than 3 or 4 million a year, but it's enough to get me out in the community, make a living.
Keep me in beer
Well,
money.
I mean, that's an extremely low commission. You think about it, you've got to share at the most 3% with a broker. And so here,
we should put her on budget so she can
You should
teach
talk
the
to
state
Michelle
how
Hoskins
to
about this. Since you're
bring
here in the
some
office, she'll know all about this. So Hannibal, right?
Yes.
Judge Russell territory, Lou, Mark Twain territory. I love your downtown. That river area you've done such a great job with that.
We have a lot of opportunity in Marion and Ross County, and everybody knows about Hannibal and our history there, our downtown district and tourism. We've got all kinds of great river boats and tours, wonderful festivals all the time. But I don't want to forget about Ross County too, because there's a lot of Civil War memorabilia and buildings, historical societies.
We had the Palmyra Massacre.
I didn't know that.
We had the Palmyra Massacre, yes, and then
they have 2 courthouses.
Yeah, we do.
If you had actually gone to a history class every once in a while, you wouldn't have had to read all of these books about every county's history.
I wouldn't have got to read all these books.
Now you just need to come and visit us.
I've been many times. I've been to both courthouses in Rawls County. Love how they have the Hannibal.
He brags about being at every county.
Every county, that's right.
Every county in Missouri.
There's a lot of media people in here that go to Jackson, St. Louis, and Boone, and then sometimes Jeff City on days like today.
Yeah.
The Missouri Times goes to all 114. We actually steer clear of St. Louis if we can.
Yeah.
Now the Cardinals are terrible. It's easier.
So we've heard from a lot of St. Louis candidates today, but a lot of rural candidates too. You would be representing one of the more rural parts of the state. What do you think you would bring to the legislature to represent kind of more rural issues and needs?
Well, it would be hard to not continue to piggyback off of a lot of what Lewis has done. Lewis has really
Rural broadband.
Well, and Lewis and I have been like-minded on rural broadband because I had built some telehealth programs for a health system that was in Illinois. We developed it into a tri-state healthcare system, providing telehealth hub and spoke. Broadband is essential to healthcare. We have teleradiology, we have telehealth for stroke, and so other than our infrastructure that Lewis has done an amazing job fighting for us, that we need to continue on doing that. Our highways, bypass is going to be a big one coming up for our our TDD is going to be on the ballot pretty soon.
Well, that's needed though. That's a big project.
It's needed, and I know it's going to be a fight. Hopefully we can get multiple districts involved. But
getting through Hannibal is a mess.
Yeah.
This is one of the most needed. Sedalia and Hannibal are the two that need bypasses more than anybody else in the state.
They do.
I don't do a lot of Hannibal driving. I do a lot of Sedalia driving.
Right, you need to change that. They're good folks up there.
Yeah. What I'm really hoping on is that if we can get multiple districts involved after we get the bypass on the road, is to expand Interstate 72 to the bypass. That would open up a lot of opportunity for us economically, and then hopefully filter down into our growth. Making housing more attractive, making our towns more attractive so that we can get those providers in that want to stay and live, not just come in for a week, do their job, and then hightail it back to another town. We want people to live in Hannibal, providers and nurse practitioners that want to come in and live and build our healthcare system.
Well, congratulations. If we can be helpful, let me know.
Yeah,
appreciate you so much. Thank you.
Thank you
Great
so much.
rural Missouri candidates. We're going to be right back with a couple more folks after this. Welcome back to the Secretary of State's office. You know, Aaron, it's 3 weeks until your people's big day.
Yes.
You've got Victor.
Put it on the calendar. I know you got it, but just in case.
Aaron Mullally Shrimp's big day is St. Patrick's Day. We were joined by one of your fellow kinsmen, right?
Yeah, I think so. Callahan's very Irish.
Go Irish,
name.
right?
Yeah. Ed Callahan's here. He's running for Renee Reuter's seat. She's not running for re-election. She's going to run for a judgeship, and we're in Jefferson County, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Tell us about yourself.
What part of Jeffco is that?
That would be northern Jefferson County. It's right south of Arnold, Imperial area.
Oh, good.
So borders 55, runs almost all the way over to Fenton, up to 141, down to the new Highway M.
So you got Herky?
Then down to Clable. No, not quite that.
Not quite Herky.
Not quite Herky.
Gotcha.
Barnhart exit. Yeah.
Well, we always like, the good part of Jeffco is obviously south of Arnold. So you're from the good part, right?
We call it the Seckman Valley and beyond.
Yeah, there you go.
Right.
I like it. So what do you do for a living?
I'm a pastor. So
what church?
Right. Encounter Church in northern Jefferson County.
Nice.
Right,
nice.
sure.
Now, where's that at?
It's off of Richardson Road, right off the highway. You can see it northbound 55 or southbound, right on the highway.
What made you want to get in politics?
Well, I have 10 grandchildren.
Wow.
And, my main vocation is a pastor, but my main hours is pouring in my grandkids. So,
sure,
yeah.
I feel that.
My grandkids, one day y'all's grandkids, so just a legacy and future.
I feel that.
So, yeah.
My mama is a church secretary, so
I can.
Folks,
you didn't get away with anything then.
If you listen real careful, you can hear it in his voice, that cadence. When he finishes a sentence, just a little emphasis, kind of. It's so funny. I heard Ted Cruz give a speech once, and I'm like, I recognize something about the way he talks. And his dad was an Assembly of God pastor. So it's like there's that little hint. When you got that voice that only a preacher has, you only get that from speaking. You only get that preaching the gospel, right? You don't get that.
It's the unction, right?
See, like
the unction,
right there.
The unction.
He knows how to finish those sentences and drive that point home.
That's right.
So what do you work on in Jeffco?
Well, we're going to work on family values, make sure that we continue to foster, quality biblical family values, and then the economy, affordability. I plan on being a huge proponent of the port and taking some delegations down to Louisiana to help them move it through the legislation, what's needed for us.
Is the road construction about done? Because it feels like it's went on for about 4 years now.
No, it's changed, so it's not as bad.
It's
getting a little easier, but it's not.
They did a great engineering feat. They're expanding 55 to 6 lanes all the way to the port.
Right.
And when they went through Peebly and all that, they've left the road open. But it's weird. You come to the thing and you have to pick a side to go on.
You have to do it twice.
And you're right. I mean, that F-150, there's not a lot of. I can't imagine driving a semi through that.
Right.
You have to have nerves of steel.
Yeah.
And as you continue to go to south, if you get off, you have to go through a roundabout. So if you can imagine like a 4-lane highway terminating in a roundabout, it's pretty incredible.
And I take 67 to go to Poplar Bluff, so I've hit that 1,000 times.
Right.
I'm interested to see how when it's finished, how that's actually going to feel.
It's much better now. I don't think there's as many divisions. I think there's just maybe one right now.
Well, the traffic used to back up so
tremendously.
If you're on 55 and you take 67, there was a gas station at the top of the hill after you hit the exit.
Yeah, exactly.
And there was a stoplight.
Right.
The most weird put stoplight ever. And it backed the traffic all the way up through Festus. It was a nightmare. I think they've got that fixed.
They do.
The stoplight's gone now.
It's gone completely. I just drove it 3 days ago.
We have to congratulate the people of Jefferson County. You got rid of McKenna. That was a great move. I mean, I know everybody had to pitch in.
Don't hate on my fellow Irishmen.
I'm just saying, that was a big thing for the whole county of Jeffco. How's Sheriff Marshak doing?
I think he's doing really, really well. Dave's a great guy, and through the last 4 or 5 years has run the county very well.
So Dave Marshak will be there a week from tonight, Tuesday night, Statesman of the Year Award, with our fundraiser for the Women's Legislative Charity. Marshak will be there. Tim Whitney's coming.
Yep.
Tim Whitney, that's good. That's like the biggest race in the county, right? That county exec race.
I think so. Mm-hmm.
Who's going to win? You going to make a prediction? You can't. You're running for office.
Well, I can.
Oh, give it to me.
I'm hoping that Dave and Tim both.
Is somebody running against Dave? What kind of fool would run against Dave?
I'm sorry, it's Chris Howard.
Chris Howard, yeah.
Chris Howard. So I'm a dear friend of Chris Howard's, and I'm a friend of Tim's as well. So my prediction is it goes to a runoff. How's that sound?
That's a safe bet.
He's good.
You're practicing.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, sir, we're so grateful for the time. Congratulations on today.
Yeah.
What
Appreciate
an awesome honor. And
Appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Sir.
And congratulations on getting rid of McKenna. We'll be right back after this from the Secretary of State's office as long as Rachel doesn't pull the plug. Welcome back to the Secretary of State's office. Don't turn the channel. This is Jake. Aaron's taking a break. We've been here all morning. Joined by the Minority Leader of the Missouri House of Representatives, Ashley Ani. Thank you for the time.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Okay, you got today's like the day all the recruiting kind of comes to a head.
Yeah.
Give me some recruits you're happy about.
Oh, we are really excited about a few of our candidates. We've got Tracy Steele running in HD 12, Southern Platte County. He's an attorney. He's very impressive, right in my backyard. He's going to flip that seat right back to blue. We're confident of it. We've got Marianne Perkins over in 101 running against Phil Olerking. I think she's got a fantastic shot.
It's a close district.
It's a really close district.
That's a Democrat district. You should win that,
It is.
right?
We should absolutely win that. We should win HD 17. We have a fantastic candidate there. And you know, we've spent the last several months not only raising a record amount of money, but recruiting folks who are ready to do the work.
What's that St. Charles district that's always so close?
So we have a few that we're actually looking at in St. Charles.
Yeah.
We have
one of them is like really tight. Chrissy Summer represented it.
It's the Wellenkamp district, right? Yes, we have Kat Clayton is running in that district, and she is phenomenal, truly phenomenal. She's very impressive. She's young, she's good looking, she's smart, and she's out there right on message all the time, and that's tough in a district like that.
I wonder how the Democrats have raised money. I bet it's Ashley selling her candidates about like this right here. I mean, you almost want to get in your wallet right now and help, don't you? That's right.
Hey, MoHouseStems.com.
I love it. I think the story of last year politically was you had an amazing quarter fundraising. Tell me how you did that. Did you just like that?
I mean, it was a lot of that. It's a lot going out and telling our story, telling people how we intend to win. It's building infrastructure in the caucus to make sure that people realize that what they're investing in is worth it and that the candidates that they're investing in are worth it. And it's just going across the state, meeting with donors, and bringing people back into the coalition who maybe lost faith in the House Democrats over the years because we weren't flipping the seats that we wanted to.
It feels like the coalition that had 68 members. If you get back to 68, it's going to be different. It's not going to be Boot Hill farmers. It's not going to be labor guys in Jeffco.
Right.
It's going to be a different crew. It's going to be some St. Charles people, some Northland people.
Absolutely.
To me, if you got to 68, it would look very different than the last time Democrats were at 68. So you're selling that vision to a different group of people in a very volatile landscape.
We are, but we're also, I think that one of our challenges this year and one of our opportunities as well is redefining what a Missouri Democrat is. And I think that is how we win those districts. We show up and tell people that a Missouri Democrat looks just like me. I'm a Moms Demand Action member and a gun owner, right? We contain multitudes, and a Missouri Democrat is not AOC. It's not the squad. That's not what we're trying to do here in Missouri. We are trying to hold our own in a red state and move the pendulum just a little bit more so that we can be a purple state. I grew up in Kansas, looking across the state line where Missouri was purple, and I thought someday my vote's going to count over there. And then I got old enough to vote.
When we were purple, we got a lot better shape. I mean,
absolutely. And
when you're competitive, you're fought over.
Right, absolutely. And I think that's the thing. It's like we just need to show people who we are and what we stand for. Not only what we stand against, and we stand against a lot of what happens in that building, but we stand for a lot more. We stand for helping Missourians. We want to make sure life is more affordable for folks. We want to get big government out of their lives.
Let me play devil's advocate.
Absolutely.
Donald Trump has an amazingly special relationship with his state. People, when they show up to vote, they love Donald Trump on a level that I haven't really seen in this state. The numbers go back to Lincoln when they let the Democrats vote in 1864. It looks like that magic nationwide is petering out. Like every president in their last midterm, his numbers are sinking.
Yeah.
What in the back of your mind, are you afraid he's going to pull out some issue out of his back pocket, like he's very good at doing, very talented politician? What is your fear that Trump could come in and pull something out and flip the midterms on a dime?
I think that historically we have seen Trump has an incredible ability to do that. But what I also think is that this year is different. He is a lame duck now. He does not have any future power to wield or leverage in these fights and in these arguments. And I really think that he is not on the ballot, and therefore folks who are inclined to vote for him won't show up.
That's a big deal, right?
I think so.
All you can really do, filing starts today, it closes next month. That's a long time till November. You just got to get your best players on the field and try to raise all the money.
Absolutely.
And then when the national mood hits, some of these suburban districts are highly influenced by the national mood. You got to have your place in the right place at the right time for lightning to strike.
Yep.
You feel like you're there?
Oh, absolutely. I think we have the right candidates, the right message, and we are meeting people where they are. And I think that that's the most important thing.
Speaking of candidates, 2 of your senior colleagues are leaving and running for state Senate seats. Betsy Faughn in Springfield and Carrie Engel over in Lee Summit. Obviously, you deal more at the House, but it feels like a state Senate race that could be very close. Also helps pull over a lot of your House members. How are you guys feeling about that?
Yeah, we are so excited to work with both of those candidates as well as our candidate in SD 34. We want to make sure that as we look at our House seats and our Senate seats, we're looking at them holistically, right? So we want to make sure that if Carrie Engel is running in Eastern Jackson County, that every single House district in that Senate district has the connection to her campaign, and everyone is talking and working together. Coordinating in a way that allows voters to understand who stands for what, and that Carrie is the senator and the Democrat in the House district is their representative, right? Same with Greene County. That's what I'm really excited to watch Greene County this year. I think that what we're seeing in Springfield is going to basically be a rising tide that lifts all boats, and Betsy Faughn is that rising tide.
Can you coordinate with Cleaver? Is there a way to do that? I mean, he's going to have Eastern Jackson County too, right?
Yeah, I'm actually not sure what the federal coordination looks like on a congressional level, but I think that absolutely that is a possibility, and we haven't spoken with Cleaver's team about that yet.
Well, folks, you heard about the best pitch you're going to hear for House Democrats. Thank you very much. We appreciate it.
Hey, thanks for having me.
We'll be right back. We have a local Jeff City person we're going to have on after this.
So they are.
Welcome back to the Secretary of State's office. I'm extremely pleased to bring you Suzanne Luther, and I'm going to give you a little background on this. I recently purchased a newspaper in her district, and I have a buddy of mine, one of my dearest friends, Rich Callahan, told me there's a lot more. The subscribers of this newspaper are more Democrat than you're going to think, and I'm like, well, Rich is usually right, but he was very right. It has been interesting to me to see the enthusiasm in Cole County Democrats, and you're capitalizing on that by running for state rep, right?
I would say I'm capitalizing on that, but I'm more capitalizing on the general needs of the people of Jefferson City right now.
Sure.
That I think kind of transcend Democrat.
So are you the one that's in the city, or are you the county district?
I'm the city.
City district. That district, Jay Barnes held that. It has been a competitive district by and large. It is a little. The county one's a little more Republican, right? City one's a little bit more Democrat leaning, correct?
I don't know if we can say that in the recent past, but I would say right now it's up for grabs.
Well, tell me, what do you do for a living? Tell me about yourself.
I am a retired teacher. I'm on the school board right now.
Oh, nice. What school district you teach at?
I taught in the Jefferson City Public Schools for a while, for most of it. Taught at
Oh, you
Calvary
didn't have to
Lutheran.
teach Vogel, did you? That had to be a full-time job. Oh, boy. What'd you teach?
Gifted. And
Oh, you didn't definitely not teach Vogel. So you don't even know Sam Wiles at all, then.
And I taught art before that.
So what made you run for school board? Because that is like the most thankless job of all time ever, right?
Well, I ran for school board because being a teacher, I
You knew a little
cared
bit about
about
it,
where education was going at the time. And if you remember a few years ago, there were some direct hits on just the way curriculum was taught and some major distractions to what really mattered in public education.
If you win this seat, you're going to be the most pivotal session for education will be next year. The next 15, 20 years of Missouri education will be decided next year. You'll be getting there right in time for the fight.
I'm ready for it.
So tell me how you win this race. I mean, I'm thinking back, Bill Deacon, this district has been held by Republicans, Carl Vogel, for really about as long as I can remember politically. Tell me how you flip it.
The way I'm going about it is I'm just focused on what really matters.
What is that?
That would be prices of groceries, education, it would be healthcare, and childcare, making sure that businesses grow, making sure that we have a fair tax system and not just one that benefits the wealthiest in this
What's
community.
a fair tax system? I've always found the only fair tax system I have is one I don't have to pay.
Well, I don't see it like that because I do appreciate my fire department and my...
What is though a fair tax system in your
I
opinion?
think a fair tax is where you have the ratio of the work that people do is fair to what they give back to the government.
Jay Nixon once told me, when Democrats talk about labor and valuing labor, they can be successful. When they talk about anything else in Missouri, they lose. I think that is so important. You talk about people's work and valuing their work, that matters. And I think that matters to people. And all the issues around that, I think, is a big deal. And you have a lot of supporters here. I love this. That is awesome. You have a whole crew here. I wish we could twist the camera around and show. We even have Julie Smith here. So that. So you got a group of fired up folks. You can be walking neighborhoods.
Oh yes, yes.
When does that? It's a little chilly now, right now, right?
I've already hit over 1,000 doors.
Oh, where'd you hit? So when you start this, where do you go? Where in Jeff City do you start hitting?
Well, I hit different pockets of Jefferson City so that they know that I am running and why I'm running.
See, this ain't like the Boot Hill where everything's flat. Jeff City has a lot of hills, and I'm sure you're figuring that out firsthand.
When going door to door, what's the major issue you're hearing from voters right now?
Mostly the cost,
Yeah.
and sometimes that's groceries. Sometimes it's the things that we talked about. Healthcare. I heard some stories there.
Yep.
But that's the primary, and then the just a general just people being upset on voting for things that then were flipped as soon as it got to the state, and that is I found that on Republican and Democrat households.
Yeah. Well, Jake, she taught gifted people. She's suffered us long enough, I think.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for the time. We appreciate
Thank
it. Very
you
honored to
so
visit
much.
with you. We'll be right back here at the Secretary of State's office. I think Aaron may jump back in after this. Welcome back to the Secretary of State's office. Ratings are about to jump. Erin's back.
I'm back. I had to put a media badge on. We frustrated Rachel Dunn to the point that we have to be officially recognized.
She's wearing one, I'm not.
So, of course, I'll take one for the team. We're here with Israel Baeza.
Yes.
Who's running for Brad Pollitt's.
Yes, 52nd District, yes.
Okay.
Big shoes to fill with Brad Pollitt.
Yeah.
My goodness.
There you go.
Yes.
You talk about a guy that came to the legislature and is leaving it better than he found it. Brad Pollitt's one of those serious people that really should be in government somewhere.
Yes.
So I actually met Brad even before I was in public service. Always looked up to him. He was a superintendent, of course, and now he's going to the next step. And I've been talking to a lot of people at the Capitol, and they all tell me about the same thing. A great guy that's a hard worker. So
I'll tell you, my favorite thing about Brad is that he was a former girls high school basketball coach.
That's right.
So do you have any coaching experience?
I actually do. So I used to play soccer. I'm a soccer coach, and back home, a lot of people know Brad as Coach Pollitt. So definitely have some soccer experience.
Tell me about yourself, though. You're a soccer coach. What else?
So I am currently a county commissioner in Pettis County. I have been serving that capacity for 7 years. Excited for today, be able to make a difference now at the next step. I have a wife and 2 little girls, a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old, and they're definitely my drive every single day. So the goal is to leave Missouri better than we are getting it right now as well.
So when you're the state rep from Sedalia, you pretty much have to host everybody 2 weeks out of the year at the state fair, right?
Oh, yeah. And we love it. So every year you hear people talk about the traffic and all that. And reality is we spend almost every single day there. If it's not for something official, the girls will find a way to take us there.
Way to be there?
We're there every day. We love it.
Fantastic.
So what do you want to do as a state rep?
The biggest thing is I've learned that it's important to listen to people. It's important to listen to the people that you represent, be able to advocate for their concerns, but also to set expectations of what's really happening. So I would really like to learn as much as I can early on. But also I've heard from a lot of people, and it's pocketbook issues. A lot of people are concerned about taxes, are concerned about being able to afford living. We're from a rural part of the state, so that's a huge concern for us in our part of the state. So really that would be my biggest focus, is just make sure that we can continue to bring policies that take government out of people's daily lives.
And you need a 4-lane 50. Right. I mean,
Amen.
He's
Amen.
You're gonna. No one knows that more than Brad, and now you, Israel. When you're sitting on that in Tipton, waiting to get around a cattle truck or something, 50 needs 4 lanes.
I could go for 4 lanes, but I enjoy the drive. I enjoy the drive. I
would enjoy the drive more if it was 4 lane.
When the conversation about I-70 came up, everybody was saying, "Hey, but what about 50?"
What about 50?
Hopefully, it'll come next.
Well, you're the second or third county commissioner we've had
Really?
file for a state rep district today. What kind of perspective do you feel like that would bring to the state legislature? That we've talked a lot about county issues and local government this past session, and so I'm curious.
Yeah, the reality is that a lot of everything that gets done up here affects the local level and affects counties. I think that county government is kind of the truest form of government because we're so close to the people. People will pay their taxes and then they'll walk right into my office in the county commissioners, and they'll let you know what's on their mind.
Right. That's absolutely right. We've had some Cole County issues here in the last few weeks, and I tell you that they have been blowing up my phone about how frustrated they are with Cole County government.
And they know how to find you.
They do.
And
you can't hide
and
from
honestly,
your people.
That's one thing that I do love. I give out my cell phone to my constituents. I want them to be able to find me because if there's something on their mind, I want to hear about it. Not after I vote. So that's definitely very important to me. Coming from the local level is being close to the people, having a good pulse of your district, but also being able to listen and relay those issues up here in Jeff City, which I know I'm going to be one out of 163. Currently, I'm one out of 3. So, but building relationships, everybody's been very welcoming. I will say that.
You'll get there.
It'll come. Thank you guys so much
Can't
for
wait
being
to
here.
cover you in Jeff City.
Thank you guys so much.
Be right
Appreciate
back.
you.
I think we have Carrie Turgeon coming up after this. Welcome back to the Secretary of State's office. We're now joined by someone that's more famous than Aaron and I.
Yeah.
The former mayor of Jeff City, Carrie Turgeon. So your resume, mayor, councilwoman, curator at Missouri State. I mean, it's a lengthy thing. You bring a lot of experience to this job. What made you want to run for state rep?
Well, I wanted to take what I did as mayor and really extend that into the district, take it to the next level, was really ready to stay involved and really not only make this area better, but making the state better.
So Carrie is running for my state rep district, right?
Right.
This is Rudy Beat's seat.
Yes, District 59.
Yes. So more rural House
Yes.
district than maybe serving as mayor of Jeff City. Kind of what perspective do you feel like you would bring from your other roles to the position?
Yes, I think being a former mayor and knowing what it takes to work with cities and the state and interfacing that together, I will be able to bring some success and perspective to all of the towns and cities within the district. Also being a small business owner, I know what that's like. I know that there's a very family atmosphere in the district, and I know that firsthand what that's like to be generational and to be family oriented when it comes to how can we make business easier for people in the district, life better. There's a large agricultural presence. There's so many things we can do to make the district better and work together with our state representatives and legislators.
I know the one thing that Scott's very concerned about is the legacy at Blair Oaks. If that it continues during your tenure.
Well,
can
of
you
course.
promise that you feel
I think the saying is that's not what Coach LePage can do for you. Ask what you can do for Coach LePage, right?
Well, and education is very important, and we have that in the district. That's a shining part of our district, and I think it's something that we want to keep going, and that's one of our many assets that we have.
And by education, you mean Blair Oaks football, right?
Of course, absolutely,
Yeah,
of course. But I think I just really look forward to getting the opportunity to serve. I really enjoy getting in there, working hard, getting things done, being a genuine, true leader, and I hope that I get that chance to serve the 59.
A campaign is a daunting challenge no matter what, but it's maybe a little less for someone who's been through some big campaigns. I mean, you've run for office on a big scale,
Yes.
really to a larger electorate than even a state rep district. It's
Yes.
got to make you feel a little bit more comfortable taking this challenge on.
Absolutely, because when you're the mayor of the capital city, you are
Yeah.
welcoming everybody from around
Yes.
the state and outside, other areas that come here for their business and to meet their legislators. So I feel very prepared and ready that they would get a representative that has that experience, and also things like leading through the most difficult times we faced as a city, like a tornado, and being able to rebuild and come back stronger, and having that confidence that we can do whatever ends up happening, whatever we're faced with, we can face the challenges and move ahead.
So canvassing in a rural district's a little bit different than Jeff City. We have
Oh,
a
yeah.
side-by-side, so
Yes.
if you need it, we will be happy to help out. We'll put a sign on the back. We'll take you on
Thank
route.
you.
We'll take you up and down Route B. It'll be great.
Yes, well, I'm really looking forward to it. Very excited to run.
Major Turgeon, thank you so much for the time.
Thank
Best
you
of
so
luck.
much. Thank you.
Be right back. I think I
Appreciate
see
it.
Steve Hauser over here after this.
Oh, Mike.
Welcome back. We are joined by a guy, a businessman filing for the first time. Aaron, we have Steve Hauser from here in Jefferson City, also known as the owner of US Rents It.
Yeah.
We run it, we operate it, yes.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so
Yes.
much for the time, and congratulations on what's got to be a fun and a kind of a cool day, right?
Really cool day. I've never experienced anything like this,
Yeah.
never ran for office before, and it's just one of those things you're looking at everybody here that wants to give back to Missouri in whatever capacity they're in.
Yeah.
And so mine is, I've given a lot to this community by nonprofits, been running a lot. President of Special Learning Center for 3 years, been on it for 18 years. And it's one of those where I need to go back to another level and help the community at another level, but also the state of Missouri.
I've watched you on this side helping advocate for money with
Absolutely.
Senator Bernskatter and your representatives.
Yep.
Now you're going to kind of go from the side of the Special Learning Center board. You're going to be one of the guys they're relying on to bring that money home. It's you're kind of switching sides of the table here.
I am, but at the same time, which is kind of wonderful, is since I was on the other side and I got to see what you have to do to prove to earn that money, a lot of these nonprofits, a lot of the organizations in Missouri, we need to hold them accountable. to the money that we give them. And that's one of the things that when I was on Special Learning Center, we had to prove our accountability. And that's what I would ask any organization or any bill that go across, that we need accountability of all our money, state money.
So some of our tenured Jefferson City representatives are terming out. Senator Bernskatter, Representative Griffith, whose
Right.
seat you're running for.
Yeah.
They've done a lot for Jefferson City. Jefferson City's kind of on the precipice with the convention center and the hotel coming in of
Sure.
big things,
Sure.
right?
Yeah.
But we're also facing a budget crunch. So
Mhm.
how do you plan to kind of manage what we have upcoming with the state budget with where you want to take your hometown city?
Sure, and that's an important question right now, and it's hard to understand all the budget process and where the cuts are. When the veto session, when we had the veto session last year, a lot of the local organizations were on that cut as well. Some were saved, some weren't, and I think that'll probably give a little bit of the streamline of knowing what organizations probably need to be a little bit careful on where we're going to cut. But across Missouri, I think everybody understands that we had so much liquid cash, for quite a while, right? And so this is a time that we do have to maybe look at where we can maybe sharpen the pencil a little bit on budgets, because if the state offices or local offices, if there's a way that they can utilize the budget a little bit better, it may help us answer those questions.
Steve, thank you so much for the time.
I appreciate
Best of luck.
it. Thank you. Appreciate it.
We'll be right back. I think I see Jim Avery over here. We're going to grab him
Steve,
next.
It was nice to meet you.
Welcome back. The Secretary of State's office. Aaron, we are joined by the guy. Nobody had a better 2025 than Jim Avery. Jim, welcome back to Jeff City and back to a building you're pretty familiar with.
Yeah, it's been a while. It's been 20-something years since I've been in this building, but familiar with it. I knew how to find it without a map.
That's good. That's good. It's day one.
Former rep. You do 8 years?
6.
6. Then you did
State Board of Mediation, and then Labor and Industrial Relations Commissioner. So I was appointed by both Blunt and Nixon.
And I've learned to never call someone a former Marine, but I see your lapel pin.
I'm always wearing a Marine Corps emblem because I'm proud of my Marine Corps service. I served in the National Guard also, so in total, 22 and a half years. 3 combat tours, not that anybody's counting.
I would count if I were you. I'm on a hard 0, so I respect all 3.
All right.
How
about you? 0?
0.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
My grandfather was Air Force.
Oh, nice.
She's a conscientious objector now.
I see that.
I'm a conscientious objector.
All right, so running for Senate in Jeffco.
Correct.
When this first started, right, and you were making rumblings you were going to run, it looked like this was going to be the top primary in the state. It looked like it's going to be
4 ways,
huge,
3 ways.
Everybody talking about running in
5 ways,
I'm looking around today. Are
not.
you the only one that filed?
I don't know. I haven't filed yet.
Did anybody have a better 2025 than you?
I mean, I'm sure people had a good 2025.
I watched you do it, though. Look, there's different ways to do these things. I watched you take on this primary, not as trying to club people to death, as trying to talk to people. Yeah. I would talk to people, and they say, well, I'm going to talk to Jim. Like, why would you do that? You're running against him. And before you know it, they'd be like, well, I just think Jim would do a good job.
Well, everybody thinks that politics has to be this disruptive, combative thing. Sometimes you can win your battles by becoming friends with the other people. If you take a reason for people to run against you away from them, that's a lot better than creating a reason for them to run strongly against you. If I hate somebody, I'm going to work so hard to make sure I beat them. If I kind of like them, it takes the fun out of it a little bit. So, I think everybody realized that I wasn't the boogeyman, and they were all kind of worried about, where I'd be. And I think everybody just kind of realizes that this is going to be okay.
I do think, though, there's a high expectation on you coming to the Senate. You should be you were in the House when it took some of the skills it takes to be a good senator to be in the House. You had to work with people, not just across party lines, but you had to work with people inside your own party to get things done. You've got experience in the executive branch and the legislative. There's very high expectations on Senator Jim Avery. How do you deal with that?
Well, I mean, I will say I feel the weight on my shoulders. I know there's a lot of expectations, and I think if I'm lucky enough to win this, before I start, I'm going to have to sit back and kind of make a game plan on exactly how I'm going to do things. One of the things I want to do is bring people together. The people that are elected now, they don't know each other the way that we used to know each other. I used to know my friends' kids' names. I know their wives' names. I still talk to them. You know, I bought Gary Duesenberg, if you're watching this, Gary, I bought his Mustang last year. He had it for 40-something years. We're still friends. And he lives in Blue Springs and I live in Jeffco. So, you know, we still keep those connections. We were close. It used to be, if you broke down anywhere in Missouri, you had a friend.
Yep.
It's not like that anymore. They don't even know each other. Some of these people don't even know their names. And that's a problem. So I'm going to start with the Jeffco people. I'm going to have weekly breakfast in my office. And then I want to have a good relationship with the senators. Don't hold this against me if you guys are watching this. I want to bring the Senate back to what it used to be. A deliberate body that was
But it's
very
going to take
deliberate.
people that stand up and say no when it's so easy to do the partisan thing or just do what leadership says.
Right.
You're going to take everyone wants to blame Senate leadership for steamrolling the senators. I don't agree with that. It's the senator's job to stand up and say no, and none of them do it.
Well, nobody's steamrolling me. I'll tell you that.
You've got your bluff on.
I believe you.
So, but I mean, I'm also open to talk to people. So it's not like my way or the highway, but let's figure it out. I mean, I'm a trial attorney, so I'm good at negotiating. You know, that's what I do every day, all day. So sometimes when I'm talking to the insurance company on the phone, I'm like, you just don't get it, but you will, you know? And then, you know, then I move forward. So I think that things will be a little bit different. I hope it'll be a lot more deliberate, and I hope that people actually get to know each other a little bit better. When you know each other, you realize that person's not your enemy, you know, and you can work together.
I want to give you a lot of credit. I feel like you've alluded to it, but I feel like you've given a master class in how to disarm people who might have, you know, preconceived notions or expectations about you, and I've watched you do that. Even myself, really, before I met you, I kind of had a picture in my head of what you might be like, and it's just really, it's a talent. So
I spoke at the Marine Corps League Marine Corps birthday this November in Jeffco, and I might have dropped an F-bomb or two during my speech, and I was in the right crowd for
the Jeffco way.
Right.
Knew your audience.
And when I was done, my friend's wife came up to me and she goes, "Oh my God." Now I don't really know her that well. She's like, You're just a real person. You're just like us. You're an average person. And then I'm on a podcast. I told him to listen to the podcast. And the husband called me back, and he's a combat veteran. He goes, "Man, I feel like you're my brother. You know, you're not just my friend anymore. You're like somebody that I can relate to." Mm-hmm. Everybody just thinks because I have a successful law practice that I'm out of touch. I mean, listen, I grew up poor. I was homeless when I was 17 years old. I lived in my car. You know, I have cars now. Everybody knows that. They want to talk about my flashiness. I mean, I'm wearing jeans today, you know. This is me dressed up. I wear shorts and T-shirts to work, you know.
Well, and the good thing about being the senator from Jeffco is no matter how poorly it goes, you're going to almost certainly be better than McKenna.
Well, I don't know. He was a pretty awesome
Ryan,
senator.
I'm sorry if you're watching.
You know, I'm not going to comment on that,
Well,
Ryan.
it's coming up on St. Patrick's Day. We have to make fun of McKenna. Hey,
I ran into him one time when we were both state reps in Las Vegas. Apparently, he used to go there every year for St. Patrick's Day. He likes to watch the March Madness and do sports betting.
Yeah.
Now we can do that in Missouri.
There you go.
Yeah, I don't remember most of the stuff when I'm on St. Patrick's Day.
Right.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Downtown or Dogtown for the parade?
Dogtown. I mean, that's a traditional parade.
If somebody ever answers this question downtown, be like, what?
Yeah. The downtown one is like for the politicians.
Yeah.
The Dogtown one is for the
the real
people.
people.
Yeah. And I'm a Hoosier. Like, you know, my wife's a Hoosier. I'm a Hoosier. You know
the difference between Hoosiers like yourself and white trash like me?
Not much.
You actually call the cops. We don't call cops. And you watch hockey. We don't watch hockey.
You have an accent and I don't. That's the difference.
Also, there's three.
Yeah.
You found three.
Yeah.
Well, Jim, thank you so much
Hey,
for
thank
your time.
you. I appreciate it. Look forward to seeing you
Jeff
guys.
City.
Good seeing you. Thank you.
I would say want to cover the campaign. I don't know if we'll have one.
We'll have
be right
one.
back here from the Secretary of State's office as long as Rachel lets us.
Hi, I'm Erin Trimp. We're back at the Missouri Secretary of State's office. We finally kicked Scott out because of his laryngitis, and Jake's back filling in.
Well, Rachel kicked him out.
That is true.
He wouldn't wear his
yeah.
media tag, so he's leaving.
Yes. So we're here with Ben Rudy, candidate for District 121.
Yes, ma'am.
Tell us about yourself.
I'm a retired active duty soldier. Did 24 years in the military. Got out. Retired in Pulaski County, Missouri. We absolutely love it there. Been doing a lot of volunteer work since then. I just saw a lot of red tape that's prohibiting our community from moving forward in certain areas, and I want to be a part of cutting that red tape and open the door for an economic boom for our county, and just representing my district up here in the Capitol to help promote, success. I have a slogan that says "Win with Ben." I want to I want everyone to win, and everyone's version of winning is going to be a little bit different. We may not be able to fill your tank up, but I want to get you to an eighth of a tank and then get you to the next level where you can go.
Yeah, 121. Is that Hardwick?
That's
Bill Hardwick's district? Big shoes to fill.
Big shoes to fill.
I'm a big fan of Bill Hardwick.
Yeah,
so.
They keep sending us people who are big on regulatory issues, and they've always been talented. So I have no doubt you're going to be able to do pretty well in that in terms of regulatory. Yeah, Bill Hardwick, big shoes to fill. So what are some of the issues that you're tackling right now? When you're knocking doors, what are you hearing at the doors right now?
I'll be honest with you, people just want to eat. They want to put food on the table. They want jobs. We think big government, that we need to shrink that down and just think common sense. What does the American people, the Missourian people need right now? And that's just more money in their pockets. They want to work. They want to provide for their families, but they're being held back by government. And so what can we do and look at legislation? Are there laws we can take away? A lot of times I get asked, hey, what bills do you want to create? I'll be honest with you, I want to come in here and say, what laws can we actually take away and open the door for success? Because the smartest people in the room isn't the government, it's the people.
What's some policies you're really looking into right now?
Well, there's I'm definitely pro-life. That is 100% a strong stance that I have. I think all life is created by God from the time you're created all the way until you're elderly. So protecting the children in the womb is definitely something that I would like to continue to pursue. I think that there's some serious issues with the current legislation that was passed. The fact that you don't have to be a physician to perform an abortion. Different things like that are very concerning. Regardless of which side you stand on the aisle, we can come to a better agreement on if we're going to allow abortion, we need to make sure there's some safety procedures in there for the people of Missouri. So that's big. Education reform, looking at improving our education. First of all, our teachers are top notch. They really put in the work, just providing the resources that they need, but also giving the parents options for education for their children, I think is very important.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today. We wish you the best of luck. Again, have big shoes to fill, but we're excited for you.
Absolutely.
Good people come from Pulaski.
And I love history. So this is the original flag of the state of Missouri, and I think that's an awesome backdrop.
Oh yeah.
It is a privilege to be up here just to run. And I encourage all my fellow veterans out there, put your name in the hat. Let's go represent. We need more veterans out here. My district has got a privilege of having Fort Leonard Wood right smack dab in the middle of it. So we have very unique. We have veterans, we have active duty, we have National Guard, we got people from all over the world, and we have the original town and the people from Missouri all in one district. So there's a lot of different wants and desires on how, again, to be successful. So how do we work together, get along, and create an open playing field that's fair and equal, that people can get in there and everyone win?
Absolutely.
So win with Ben's what I say. Yeah.
We'll be right back from the Secretary of State's office with more candidates here in just a second.
Yep.
Welcome back to This Week in Missouri Politics. We're at the Secretary of State's office with some candidates, and we got a familiar candidate for you right now. Former Representative Gina Mitten, now running for State Senate, right?
Yes, that's correct.
So how is it going so far?
It's going wonderfully. Always, every day's a new challenge. I got the United Auto Workers endorsed my candidacy yesterday, so that's today's exciting news.
Yeah.
Very exciting.
And the momentum keeps building.
She has my people's color on, green.
Oh, yeah, green is my color.
We're 3 weeks away from St. Patrick's Day.
Exactly.
That's a big holiday in
It
St.
is,
Louis.
and
Are
yes,
you going to be at any parades?
Quite the parade down at Dogtown, so sure, I'm looking forward to that.
Correct answer. We asked about this earlier about what the best parade is in St. Louis, whether it was downtown or Dogtown. So there you go.
Yeah, Dogtown.
Yeah. So what issues are you running on in the Senate race?
Well, the biggest reason why I got into this race is women's reproductive rights, and 80% of this district voted in favor of Amendment 3 in the fall of 2024. 70% voted for Crystal Quaid. So this Senate District 4 is more pro-choice than it is Democratic, and I, as you guys both know, have an unequivocal record of supporting reproductive health care.
Yeah. So when you're knocking on doors, what's the big issues you're hearing right now? So far, we've heard affordability seems to be a really big one.
Absolutely.
Is that the same case in your district?
Sure, of course. I mean, that's true everywhere, and I think that we in Jefferson City need to really be aware of that and doing what we can. One issue is things like tax credits for both child care credits and for affordable housing for first-time home buyers. I would love to see ways to help those folks get their piece of the American dream. One problem is if we do away with the income tax, that doesn't happen. So I'm very concerned about that, and I think that here in the state we have tools that we could be using and just aren't right now.
Yeah.
Senator May, big shoes to fill there.
Absolutely.
Yeah. She's been kind of a giant in the Senate.
Yes, she has.
For the party. The Senate dynamic has been a hot topic over the last year since the special sessions. You have experience in the House. What do you think you bring to this role in working with your Senate colleagues, both within your own party and across the aisle?
Yeah, well, I'm the only candidate that has both been in Democratic leadership, so 5 of my 8 years in the House was in leadership for the caucus, so I have experience doing that and navigating. Sometimes within our own caucuses it can be challenging, and I also have a proven record of working across the aisle. There's a reason why Todd Richardson tapped me to be the ranking member on the committee that investigated former Governor Greitens, and
if Todd Richardson trusts you, I mean, that's a good sign.
Yeah.
That's a good sign.
So
that's a good.
Right. So I have a proven history of working on both sides of the aisle to get things effective. I like to say my grandmother always told me you can be effective or you can be right, and very very rarely can you be both at the same time. And I think effectiveness is truly something that's important, and I think that's something that I bring to the Senate, as well as, come on, let's be real, 8 years of just proven advocacy and being skilled to find issues and try and work to resolve them together.
If you make it to the state Senate, what's the first issue you want to tackle?
Affordability. Again, I think that we really need to be filing bills about that and figuring out what tools the state could be using to try and help folks manage their lives. You know, I was a single mom for several years, and if I look back and look at the affordability today, if today's affordability issues were in existence back when I was a young single mom, I don't know that I'd be here today. You know, I don't know that I'd been able to go to community college at night or get a degree at UMSL because the costs have exceeded the wage growth.
Yeah. Well, former Representative Gina Mitten, thank you so much for taking the time. We'll be right back. Jim Murphy, wrong Jim, wandering around here somewhere. We might find him, but we'll be right back with more candidates for you from the Secretary of State's office. Welcome back to the Secretary of State's office. We're joined by what could be a new face in the Missouri House. Tell us your name.
Hi, I'm Kat Clayton.
Kat Clayton, running for
House District 105 in St. Charles.
Which
Awesome.
could be one of the most contested generals that we have. We talked a lot about primaries today, but this is actually setting up to be a heated general election. So
Absolutely. We lost only by 99 votes on the Democratic side in the last midterm election.
So tell us a little bit about yourself, why you're running, and what you hope to kind of talk to voters about during the campaign.
Absolutely. So I am running because I'm a concerned Missouri citizen, and I'm I'm looking to really bring about a lot of change and new ideas. I think something that we're running into is a lack of transparency, a lack of respect for the will of the voter, and I believe that this is a position of public service. So I actually left my job as a data engineer. I was making, decent money, really happy life, but I, in good conscience, couldn't sit back while the will of the voter was repeatedly overturned by our elected officials. My family, my dad was in the Navy, my husband was in the Air Force, my father was also an air marshal, so Liam Neeson, but I was never kidnapped. I don't know if he would have gotten me. And so I really want to bring that spirit of service alive and back to the public.
What's the issues you're hearing knocking at the doors right now?
Affordability is a huge one. Child care is a huge one. Reproductive rights is also very contentious, especially because we passed Amendment 3, and regardless of where we sit personally on it, people want to see that vote count.
Yeah.
Also, Prop A and making sure that workers get a fair minimum wage.
So what are the skills that you're hoping to bring to the job?
I have a really great mix of analytical and playful. So I've also done improv comedy and a bunch of great things. And
that might help.
Yeah.
For the House floor. There's a lot of improv on the House floor. I don't know if you've listened to debate live before, but
some of the conclusions they come to, I think they're definitely improvising sometimes. No shade. I respect the position, right? But I think it's time that some younger voices get in there. And I know that me personally, I will stand up for what's right and what will take care of the average everyday Missourian, because I'm one of them.
Yeah.
And we can't just keep going for corporate interest. We can't just keep going for what's the most contentious issue to get some ballot candy and make us overlook what every person needs, which is just home, groceries, safe, happy place to work, and good families.
You are on the younger side of the candidates, at least I've seen here today. You could be a part of flipping some House seats for the Democrats. What does it mean to you? What does it feel like to try to build the Democratic Party over the next few years and try to dwindle down the Republican supermajority?
I think that balance is incredibly important. And one of the beautiful things about our country is the idea of checks and balances of power. Right now in Missouri, we're seeing that there's not a check and balance in place because there is a supermajority. And so it's not that I detest Republicans or anything dramatic, but I do think that we need to have that kind of check and power where if they take something too far, maybe there's another perspective that needs to be considered. And it would be absolutely amazing if I could bring that new perspective to the table and make them think a little bit differently.
Okay, that's great.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time.
Thank you.
Definitely keep us updated on your campaign, how everything's going. But
Thank you.
We'll be right back with more candidates for you from the Secretary of State's office.
Welcome back. We're at the Missouri Secretary of State's office, and I am sitting with what could be 3 Democratic senators in the Senate next year. Carrie Engel, Betsy Faughn, Tracy McCreary, very powerful women, and we're excited to have them here all in the same interview. Jake's really excited. He's giggling there.
I saw Jake's the 3 of them, and I was like, we have to get them all at one time.
I tried, just so the viewers know, I tried to kick Jake out of the shot, and he refused to leave. So here we are.
I wanted to look pretty as well.
I'm going to start with the sitting senator, Tracy McCreary, friend of labor, woman of St. Louis. What does it feel like to come back and file for Senate again?
Well, I'm really excited to run for re-election to the state Senate. I started out in the House, as you know, and was a Senate staffer for years before that. And I'm looking forward to just continuing my work in the state Senate. I like to really focus my time and energy on speaking up for people that can't afford to hire expensive lobbyists to represent them every day in the halls of the state capitol. So I'm going to stay focused on affordability. I'm going to stay focused on children's issues, women's issues. I am a big supporter of our neighborhood public schools, and so I just want to keep focusing on things like that.
Are you excited that these two could potentially be joining you?
Ecstatic. I mean, the fact that we're all together should really say a lot, and I'm committed to doing everything I can to make sure these fine women make it over to the state Senate, because it's exactly what the state Senate needs. We need elected officials who are going to put their constituents' needs before the needs of others, and I think Representative Engel and Representative Faughn will be great state senators.
We'll start with you, Betsy. Southwest Missouri, Springfield area Senate seat hasn't had a Democrat in it for quite some time now, but you might be the favorite right now, I think, and we're excited to watch your campaign right now. What are you focused on?
I'm focused on right now, of course, finishing out the legislative session strong, and also running a very strong campaign. As you said, Springfield maybe never has had a Democratic state senator, and I intend to do everything I can to flip the seat in November. Democrats in 2024 got 48% of the vote, and we have every reason to think that national headwinds are going to be at the backs of Democrats, but I don't take that lightly. That means I need to be home knocking doors and connecting with constituents, things I've done the last 6 years serving in the State House.
I swear I'm going to let Jake ask a question after I finish talking to Carrie, but Carrie, suburban women in places like Lee Summit have been pivotal in the last few midterms. How do you feel like that's going to play into the campaign for you?
I think it's going to be huge. I flipped my seat during the first Trump midterm in 2018. We know that when the pendulum swings really far in one direction, then there's going to be public backlash going the opposite direction. And this year it's no different. We're going to be focused on the economy, making sure that things are affordable to all Missourians, not just the ones in the top tax brackets.
Okay, we'll let the boy ask a question.
Representative Engel, obviously, Lee Summit is a very unique city in Jackson County. Back in 2012, it won 15 points for Mitt Romney. But since Trump has arrived on the scene, it is steadily but surely going more Democrat. Is this the year that they're going to break it and they're going to have a Democratic state senator?
Yes, absolutely. In 2024, Lee Summit voted for Kamala Harris by 2 points. And things have not gotten better under the second Trump administration. Folks are really, really concerned about making ends meet, about the future of this state, about being able to raise their kids in a state with good public schools, with job opportunities. And we just see that American dream slowly sliding away. And so we just need more balance in the state Senate. And I feel like we're going to get that this election season.
Leslie, a lot of younger Democrats that have been coming in to file for their first time have been using the term balance. Now, maybe somebody else said it first, but I swear, when I was at your kickoff, that was the main thing that you had given. Have you been giving everybody pointers on what to say for the upcoming cycle?
Well, I like to think that people are following what I'm doing, but I won't take credit for that. I think we just have a very smart group of people who look at the decisions being made in that building and understand that it's not serving the best interests of the 6.2 million people who call Missouri home. Yeah. We're talking about completely eliminating the income tax and shifting the burden of who pays for our roads and bridges and schools to the backs of working families. We're talking about privatizing an educational system that is one of the things that makes this country the greatest in the world, that every child has access to a free, quality public education. Republicans have all the power in this state, and I firmly believe that we will all be better served by having more balance in the state Senate.
Senator McCreary, you've always been one of the senators that's been very good at working with your colleagues on the other side. Last year, when Senator Searpoy was pushing his utilities bill, you were able to get major reforms to that bill. Going forward, especially right now, the Senate you guys are taking a lot more time dealing with bills. going forward, how do you feel about the chances that the Senate can have to continue to push out good legislation that you guys can continue to vet?
Well, the state Senate should be, and historically has been, the thoughtful, deliberative body. And what we're doing now in the state Senate is the senators are actually truly vetting every single bill. And, the senators should not just be rubber stamping legislation that happens to make it to committee or happens to make it to the floor. Our job is to look at things, and I will say in these last 2 months of the Senate Democrats working to look at every single, we've discovered multiple problems that needed to be fixed and corrected. So to me, that is how the Senate should be functioning, and I think these two candidates will be an important part of that, because we are famous for actually reading the bills and knowing what is in the legislation moving forward.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time to watch us here at the Secretary of State's office. We were able to finish off with a trio of powerful, accomplished women in the legislature. I hope you'll be joining us later this week for more episodes of TWMP Daily. We'll be right back later this week with more candidates for you.
Thank you.